So, we are about to have a great morning right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Absolutely. And if you have ever wondered what they mean when they say the more the merrier, then stick around.
Yes, of course, because 4 amazing ladies for a whole hour and 45 minutes will be gracing your screen. You already know it's going to be magic.
Yeah, you know we know how to get things done.
Yeah.
But we have to take a moment to appreciate the delectable in the kitchen right now. Like, she's all fly, she's all cool. I can't compliment simplicity.
Now you'll find trouble.
Hey,
Last.
so good.
Hello, darlings. How are you this morning? Thank you so much, Mary. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And I know for sure that Titi is right around the corner.
Yes,
She's
of
in the
course.
studio right now.
You'll be
Yes,
joining
she
us in a bit, hopefully soon.
Now let's let you know what we have packed up right here on the show. Wake up and welcome.
You did. Welcome
Yeah.
as well. Okay, on a more serious note, the show is Wake Up Nigeria, the breakfast show for Nigerians by Nigerians.
And that is why we're a potpourri of content and conversation. We know what it takes to draw a genuine smile from our viewers. My name is Winfrey Agbaleshe.
And my name, of course, is Mary Bashua Alimi. You can stream the show live at TVC Entertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF channel 49. That's the band 49.
Yeah, now Michelle and Maguire is back with us on Relationship this morning to discuss roots of failed marriages, toxic societal messaging, and conditioning. Michelle is a certified family life and CBT practitioner and the founder of Insights to Wellness.
Now, hair and beauty consultant as well as CEO of Ewa Hair, Onyi Honorinde, will be joining us on Hair DIY to show us the safest ways to remove a glued frontal.
Pere Afiz, aka P Gold, is a singer and a viber who tries her best to speak reality and preach the truth in her music. The Bayelsan native now tells us that music is a way of life for her, and we'll be here vibing for us later on.
And on nutrition, we will be joined by Omowumi Fadairo to discuss the right nutrition to boost your fertility chances. We can't wait for that conversation. Very interesting, I promise it to be. Yay! Okay, so I was really hoping Titi could join us. But she decided to go for a coffee instead. Like, what a snob.
Oh, wow.
Well, hey, let's have a conversation. This morning, there was so much going on online. It was hard to keep up.
Yeah.
And I know one thing for sure was the story you shared. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
talk about
So this
that?
morning I was surfing through the Instagram, which is very awkward. That's like not the first thing I would do in the mornings, but I think it was messages that drew my attention to it, and then I caught up on the Lillian Afegbai story. So apparently she's trending, people are talking about her.
Okay.
So she made a comment about, in an interview or in Toke's podcast, she mentioned something that she said that drew people's attention was, in her opinion, a man has no business, a man who does not have a house yet has no business getting married, that's settling down, you know. And well, like I said, it was her opinion. And then like she got a lot of backlash. People came after her and said all sorts and sorts. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot is happening in the internet space, but then again, we don't have enough time to talk about that now, maybe much later. We have to take the news.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has refused to direct the Independent National Electoral Commission to resume the continuous voters registration exercise ahead of 2023 general elections. The judge, Nyang Eko, in a judgment said he could not make such an order with the 2023 general election just a few days to the statutory 90 days to the elections. The judge, however, declared that INEC is expected to continue voters' registration updates and revision of voters' register until 90 days before the general election. Part of the judgment reads, quote, "It is the constitutional responsibility of the defendant, being INEC, to make sure that every prospective Nigerian voter who have shown desire to register to vote is not deprived their civil right to register and participate in the forthcoming general elections. End of quote. Moving on, the All Progressives Congress North America chapter hosted members across the United States to discuss the need to have a reformed government and also pledge their support for the party's presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The chairman of the chapter, Olalekan Sani, said nobody can deny that Bola Tinubu is a true leader and a fisher of men who has, through his leadership skills and political sagacity, assisted in transforming Lagos State to a 21st century economy, a feat he would readily replicate if given the opportunity to govern the country. He said the chapter has resolved not only to openly identify with the aspiration of Bola Tinubu, but to also mobilize massive support for his aspiration. The chapter secretary, Adeniyi Adekola, said that the main purpose of the event was to sensitize and mobilize diaspora support for the candidacy of the party and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima.
That we in diaspora, those that can go home to vote, we definitely go home to vote. And those that are not opportune to go home to vote, we actually reach out to their family back home. Encourage all of them to go out and vote. The best thing is for all our family back home to please troop out on election day, vote for the right person, and make sure you know your candidate before you vote.
This time next year, we're going to already, witnessing the good governance in Nigeria, led by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the special grace.
Outside Nigeria, rescuers in the earthquake, which occurred in Indonesia, say many of those killed and injured in a major earthquake on the island of Java were children, as the death toll soared to 268. Officials say more than 1,000 people were wounded in the disaster. In its latest announcements, the National Disaster Mitigation Agency added that 151 people were still missing. It also said that 20,000 houses had been damaged and more than 58,000 people are taking shelter in several locations in the region. The 5.6 magnitude earthquake struck a mountainous region on Monday, causing landslides that buried entire villages near the West Java town of Kanjo. That's it on the news updates for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come. Just stay with us.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for joining us. My name is Titilaya Oyin, so I'm going to be taking a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. Let's start with The Punch, shall we? Today's Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. It says here, 16.5% interest rate. Private sector predicts factories shut down, higher bad loans. CBN interest rate hike will increase manufacturers' 5 trillion naira debt. Monetary policy tightening will worsen inflation, say Nasima. Page 29 has more on that. Beside the masthead there, it says, new naira notes for circulation before December 15th. So I guess we'll be seeing that very, very soon. Just above the masthead there, it says, Atiku Obi meet Khan, tackle APC on governance. On page 2, there's some information on this story. It says, it's late to resume voter registration, court rules. Fuel queues resurface in Lagos. Marketers blame depots. Page 30 has more on that. It also says here in the photo story, Buhari inaugurates $3 billion oil exploration projects in Northeast. And Abuja, Bauchi crashes kill 44. FRSC plans mass burial. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch. We have with us The Nation newspaper as well. It says here, oil. Buhari warns against Niger Delta mistakes in the north. Then just beneath the masthead there says, Ondo seeks investors for Sunshine Stars. Or your OK's promotion of 1,629 workers. Just above the masthead there, as we saw on the other paper, it says, new naira notes to go into circulation. Today, it says, interest rate now 16.5%. It says here, APC to launch crowd-pulling app, raise funds, party rejigs campaign plan.
Document on 2.2 billion naira SWF missing. Ministry tells Senate, and no excuses for loss to Saudi Arabia, says Messi. That's page 30 story right there. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation. We also have the Daily Trust newspaper with us this morning. It says here, oil in the north, Kolmani drill attracts 1.33 trillion naira investments, according to Buhari there. 1 billion naira, or rather 1 billion oil barrels, 500 billion cubic feet of gas, exciting. New facility to have refinery, fertilizer plant, and more oil discoveries in Anambra, Sokoto, others. Why we adopted co-regulation, according to media owners, and race to Nas, Bagudu Ailero on Titanic battle for Kebbi Central. Just beneath the masthead there, it says, I'll implement your demands, Atiku tells CAN leaders. Hold politicians to their promises, Obi urges Nigerians, and we won't be partisan, says CAN president. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
Okay, so
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and it's time for us to talk about something that we came across this morning. It has to do with adoption. Okay, so adoption is something so many people talk about in different angles, but there's a particular story to this. It has to do with a young lady who discovered at 28 via a DNA test kit she bought online that she was actually adopted, which means the family she grew up with, her mom wasn't biological, dad wasn't biological, her siblings aren't real siblings, and she discovered it due to a genetic disorder she had that she was trying to figure out where in her family tree the disorder came from, since her parents didn't have it. And so that led to her discovering that she was actually adopted. And so she's so heartbroken and angry that she has decided to cut off her family.
So cutting off your family, was there any other family issue before then?
Not real issue.
Because cutting off your family is it's a big deal. I get it. You know, they didn't tell you the truth. I understand that nobody likes being lied to. But cutting off your family, that's a very big deal. They've been there for you in other areas, in other spaces. What has changed?
So the thing is this, from what we discovered, it turned out that she wasn't maltreated. She was actually treated as a member of the family.
Okay.
There was no difference. In fact, Winfrey and I had issues with the fact that the parents didn't tell her the first time she went to meet them to talk about, the disorder. Because she actually went to meet them at some point and said, the disorder, I was told that either of you had it. So our opinion is she should have even been told at that point that she wasn't their child instead of it. So maybe that's what upset her, that you knew I've been trying to find the source of this problem and you didn't tell me. So that might be what she meant by lying.
I mean, I just feel, now she might feel so strongly about disowning them and stuff like that, but I feel she's probably just still working in her feelings and emotions. I feel eventually she will come to it. But then again, just as you said, I felt that was the perfect time to, even if all her life you didn't find a reasonable time, and we're talking about it, and I said, I feel no matter what, no matter how much you're trying to protect them or you're afraid of losing an adopted child, at a certain age, I feel they deserve to know. Because the truth is, you allow someone love you in spite and despite everything. Do you understand? If it's a reasonable person, they'll look at the fact that, okay, these people literally grew me from when I was young, when I had nobody. They took me in and took care of me and all of that. So I feel when the child is of age, if the person is adopted, please let them know. And when a situation like a health situation comes up, of course, that will tell the truth. So it's health. It's health.
I'm not trying to defend the parents, but it can be tough. Parenting is something that it's a lot of investments, emotional, financial, psychological, physical even.
Spiritual.
Yes, and so they've spent over 28 years raising this lady, and she finding out that she's not theirs. They're worried about how she might react to it, whether it might make her feel segregated.
That's why I said, give her the option to love you by her will, not by the fact that you're keeping something from her.
So maybe we should try and place ourselves in her shoes. What do you think you would do if you got this information? If you found out, but I'm just really wondering what your reaction would be. Would you cut them off?
Well, anyone would be angry. And right now, she's really just working through her emotions, which is okay. I mean, it's understandable how whatever she's feeling right now, that's okay. But I'm not to say that the actions she's taking is extreme or she shouldn't, because I'm not in her shoes, to be honest, right? I mean, they say we choose our family, right?
We can't choose our family.
We can't choose our family. I believe that you choose your family, right? Because, I mean, we've seen situations where even blood brothers, blood sisters, blood siblings kill each other and do, you know, hurt each other, either you know, emotionally or physically. So at the end of the day, well, it's her decision to make, really. Whatever she decides.
Adoption has been in existence since biblical times. You know,
we remember the story of Moses.
Yes,
and how he
was
eventually
adopted.
went against the Egyptians who raised him.
Exactly.
No, so I think the problem here is not the adoption, really, because people adopt people every day, children every day. The issue is the parents should have been open with her. They should have told her the truth. She's old enough to know the truth. I think the minute she was 18, she became an adult. She should have been told the truth. This is what the situation is. This is what it is. This is what it is. She deserved.
So for me, I would say it's in most cases, until you find yourself in that shoes, either as the parent or the child, you really cannot know how you handle it. Just like that Sierra Leonean princess, who is now being made into a Disney movie, finding out at 28 that she's actually a princess in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, sure, it's not the same lady.
No, I don't think so. We have to take a break now. Just stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. It is a beautiful Wednesday, and we have our first interview right here on the couch in the person of Michelle Enwagware. She's here again to talk relationship with us, and today we're discussing the root cause of failed marriages. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria all over again. It's definitely been a delight having you here with us usually. So now we're talking about the root causes of failed marriage. Now, before we proceed, let's define what is or what can we term as a failed marriage.
Okay. So when a marriage is not at its best, it's failed. You know, sometimes people think that it's when there's a divorce, you know, and you've gone your separate ways, that the marriage has failed.
Okay.
You know, but what is a marriage? It's a union. It's a union of two people. They're supposed to be connected, like emotionally, support each other spiritually, financially. But when that is not happening, you don't have a marriage.
You don't have a marriage.
You don't have a marriage. You know, you could live in the same house, you know, wear the same dresses, go out together, but it doesn't mean you have a marriage.
It doesn't mean you have a marriage.
Yeah, so if the marriage is not benefiting both of you in the way that it's intended to, you can't say you have a marriage, yes.
Okay, and in most times, in most cases, that particular situation may lead to divorce, which is actually our focus for today. So now let's talk about it. Let's backtrack. So now, what would you say are those root causes? What are those things that actually cause marriages to fail outrightly?
Right. Okay. So you're talking about things like, and this one comes up all the time, communication. So recently, I was looking at a survey, and the three major causes of marriage breakdown: communication, money, and sex.
Wow.
And
communication,
money and sex. These things come up all the time. You have things like lack of commitment, abuse, of course, infidelity, you know, people having unrealistic expectations, and then not being prepared to get into a marriage. But the truth is, like those things I mentioned are more often than not the symptom rather than the cause.
Oh, the symptom.
They're really the symptom, because if you're having poor communication, it shows that something is wrong.
Very true.
You know, but most times we focus on the communication rather than, you know, try to understand why are we not able to communicate properly. And so at the, you know, the root of all of this is your belief system. You know, so you go into the marriage expecting that, okay, so for instance, I remember years ago somebody saying, oh, a man should not apologize. Why should a man apologize to his wife? If he has money, he'll just buy her a car. You know, so that's coming from somewhere. And this man wants you to acknowledge that you've done something wrong and say you're sorry. So such things, as little as they are, can degenerate and end up impacting your marriage terribly.
Negatively. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of times, yeah, we actually look at what is happening, the symptom, as you rightly said, as opposed to looking at what's underneath.
Right.
And now you've actually just made me understand that there are even two sets of underneath. So now, while communication might be one of the underneath, there's still something
Underneath, exactly.
Wow, so it's layers upon layers.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's go down to the actual root. So how do we avoid things like that? I mean, how do we get to the point where we are with someone that we have similar, because I mean, changing someone that you've told us is impossible, right? So now how do we make sure that we don't make that mistake in being with someone that we have different belief systems with?
Okay, so one of the things that I've realized is people don't know who they are. So you're going into a relationship, you don't even know who you are. You don't know what your values are. You don't know what your deal breakers are. And, you know, because of societal pressure, so another root cause is, societal expectations. So for the woman, it's like you're incomplete if you're not married. So people are going into marriages having unrealistic expectations, hoping that the marriage will fix them. So they're not taking care of the things that are really important, like who am I?
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, how would you know what you need in a relationship? So the first thing is to know who you are, know what your values are, and then choose someone. Sometimes we think, relationship, happens to us, but you can actually choose. You are making that decision to be in that relationship. So if you know who you are, you know what your values are, you know what your deal breakers are, you know what you need, what your purpose is, you can then choose someone who is aligned with you. And so when there's a problem, you know you're on the same page. You can talk about it without the other person saying, what you said, X, Y, Z, this is what you meant, and all of that. So it starts with self-awareness.
Okay, so I have two questions now. Let me take this one. So now, choosing the right person, very important. However, now, I mean, people have happened to find themselves in the situations that they're in now.
Yes.
How do we now manage those different belief systems and still live in a marriage that is not failed?
Okay, so one of the things I've also realized is that sometimes people feel when there's a problem, they don't see any alternative. And so it always helps to get a professional. What people typically do is they talk to their friends, they talk to the church, and I know that the church has a place, but usually what they will tell the man, love your wife, wife submit to your husband, but sometimes it doesn't help much.
Very true.
So you want somebody who understands the root causes, who can help you align your beliefs. In fact, there are assessments for all these things, that are done professionally. So your belief system will be shown to you. Your wife's belief system will be shown to her. And you will see the gaps.
You see the gaps.
And then the professional can help you align those beliefs where you can now, they will tell you, okay, this is what this person means when they say this. This is what this person understands by doing this. So it's now for you to patiently, work together and resolve whatever difficulties there are. Sometimes the issues are not that deep.
I know that.
But because there's no help, it degenerates.
Very true. And even aside aligning them, I guess being exposed to differences will make you also understand the other person's point of view and probably take things more easily.
That's where understanding their personality also comes in. Yeah, because we have different personalities.
Oh, very nice and insightful. Okay, so now I have this question. So I saw a post that literally said, okay, so you're marrying someone right now, but you're marrying someone, or rather, the person's going to change over time. But I guess you can't change as much, I mean, if you have basic structural beliefs and all of that. But anyway, I would like to ask that question. I'll ask you after the show because we actually don't have so much time. We need to go now. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so that's all we can take right now on relationship. We have Mary standing by in the kitchen. Mary, what's happening?
Okay. Thank you so much. It's time for us to prepare breakfast this morning, and we've got Chef Kenna in the studio to make breakfast. What are we having this morning?
We're having suya spice pasta.
Suya spice pasta. Sounds delicious. And talking about suya spice pasta, let's take a look at what the ingredients are. So what are we making use of?
We have pasta, spaghetti.
Of course.
Precisely. Carrots, green bell pepper.
Okay.
Spring onions, seasoning, salt, tomato paste, suya, which is the main boy.
And the suya has the onions and the cucumbers with it as well, and then the peppers. Okay, so run me through the process. What's it going to be like preparing this dish?
Okay, basically, you have to heat up the pasta first of all.
Okay, so the ingredients are on your screen right now for the suya spice spaghetti, okay? So you can scribble them down. So yes, do go on.
Okay, so you have to heat up the pasta first of all.
Okay, Odonzi, just for how many minutes?
Max about 8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes,
so it gets tender.
Okay, okay.
Then you have to heat up your oil.
Okay.
Saute the carrots and the vegetables with it.
Okay.
Mix with your tomato paste, the puree.
Okay.
Suya and every other thing that comes with it. Then at the end of the day, you garnish with your spring
So the purpose of the tomato paste, I know you were doing a bit of cutting. You can go on. Okay. The purpose of the tomato paste, I believe, is to give it color.
Yes, basically.
Is there anything else the tomato paste does? You can go ahead.
Basically, it's to give it color, but some people don't actually like tomato paste in their meals. Okay. Basically, I for one, I prefer it when it's there because it gives it this natural red color. Okay. And also it gives it kind of like a different taste than when you are just stir frying directly without the paste you get.
So for those who do not like the tomato paste, how do you get around it? Like, how do you still get what they want, like what looks good to them without the tomato paste? Is it possible? Is there a way to kill the taste so they don't even...
Yes, there's a way you can kill the taste.
So what do you do?
Basically, you just have to use the suya spice itself. You have to use a bit more, but when you are using the tomato paste, you don't have to use a lot like when you are using the spice. So you can add a bit of more spice. So if you are a suya fan, and you like it very hot, so you can add a bit of more spice. It might not get to that color, but it's still okay and it's going to come out perfect.
Okay, so now with the suya now, is this going to be at the end, like you're going to mix it at the end, or you're cooking it with it?
Yeah, it's going to come in the process because it's the main protein in the pasta.
Pasta. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to cut it to bits, or it's fine the way it is.
It depends on how you like it. Some people like their protein in chunks. Yeah. Some people just like it little by little. It depends, but we have to leave it this way. So whenever you are having it, you see that you are having the real big suya feel in your mouth. So
the spice in the suya is all we're going to make use of, or are we going to add yaji on the side, or this is enough?
We are going to add at the end of it.
We are going to add the yaji spice?
Yeah, at the end of it.
Oh, at the end of it. Okay, yeah. So we are to ensure that you get the real suya taste. Don't worry. Chef Kenna has it all under control. So, Chef Kenna, what are we doing now? I know the pasta is almost ready. Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing now?
So we want to start the stir fry.
Okay.
So first of all, we're going to add our garlic.
Okay, garlic. Okay.
Yeah, because of...
this is a no onion dish.
There's onion. But the garlic goes first before the onion.
Okay.
So we have to let it heat up and get to like golden brown. Okay. Before we add onion.
Onions in it, okay. So that's for the aroma?
Yes, for the aroma.
So there's something I'm actually wondering about. So some people, when making anything that has to do with pasta, and pasta mix, when it's not just you're eating your pasta by the side with stew or sauce or whatever, many people tend to add a bit of pasta water to, I think the word they use is to lighten it up. I don't know. Is it to lighten it or to ease it up? Do you do the same?
Sometimes.
Really? Okay, so what does the water do?
Sometimes I feel like, for me, I like it when there is no water. But what the water does is that there's this feeling that you have when you are eating noodles. Like, you can enjoy it, like... So what the water makes it
So when you
easier.
put the water back, it makes it slurp as well.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Okay, so... what goes in next?
The onion.
The onions, okay. So you're using the suya onions itself?
Yeah, so the spice is already in the onion.
Okay.
So it gives you that,
the aroma and then it also helps with the agenda of suya, spicing the entire dish.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll continue with the preparation. Hopefully we can show you more of it in the next hour. Right now, however, we've reached the top of the very first hour, heading into the second hour. We hope you stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
We hear that music and it's all the cue we need to know it's time to go all over again.
Yes. We pat ourselves on the back as well, of course, because, oh gosh, that's because we never disappoint, come rain or shine.
Yeah.
We're here to give you fresh and exciting editions of the show every weekday morning. It's always our pleasure.
Definitely. Something amazing is always cooking in the kitchen. And in fact, yes, something is cooking with Chef Kenna right about now. What's happening over there?
Chef Kenna is hard at work. I mean, he's making sure that this suya spice pasta comes out really nicely. And guess what, people? We actually have something in common. We both love pasta, and we've just been bantering about it. But hey, well done, Chef Kenna. Well done.
Okay, you know, Kamba, one Ola of the show has already gone, and you're not done yet, in case you're wondering. If you're just tuning in, it's safe to say the remaining 45 minutes is tailored just for you.
Just for you. Definitely don't know about you, but our steps are definitely light. And for the sole reason that we have a whole day ahead of us, and we know that the possibilities are endless.
True. Make us a compulsory start to your morning, and you can never, ever, 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 ever go wrong. I had to stop at some point because we put you at the forefront of what we do.
Yeah.
See, my name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
My name is Winfrey Agbaleshe. Make sure you do stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
Absolutely. You can also download the TVC app on both the Android and the iOS stores. Of course, this allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
We definitely still have hair and beauty consultant and CEO Ewa Hair Onyi Onarinde joining us later on to actually talk about how to safely remove your frontal. It is very, very important to remove your frontal without removing your edges.
Pere Afiz, aka P Gold, is a singer and a viber who tries her best to speak reality and preach the truth in her music. We cannot wait to have her perform for us. Nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the first hour you missed out. We're talking about the post.
Liliana
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she said a man should own a house before settling down.
We didn't get to have that conversation. So we are going to let you do the honors by starting.
Because I'm
What's your
I'm
thoughts?
snobbish.
You were doing it again.
I was going to go there because I actually think it is a little snobbish to just expect the man to have his own property. Why can't the women also have their own property before marriage? I just feel whatever is good for the goose is good for the gander. Everyone is different. Just because he owns property today doesn't mean he will always have it. What if he takes out loans to get it and then because of your elaborate wedding, or if he has to have land, then God knows the type of wedding you have to have. You know, it's just making a huge demand of men prematurely.
I think generally everybody should just keep your opinions to yourself. Because yes, I was actually on the internet and I saw someone post that if a man really loves you, he will borrow money to marry you. I'm like,
why?
so that's everybody's dropping down nuggets. So please keep do the one that is your own and let other people live their lives.
I'm more concerned about the young girls out there and the kind of information that they are privy to. Because, I mean, you see, we have a lot of celebrities who are role models and influencers and a lot of people are influenced by the things that they say.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having your standards, having your opinions and sticking to them. But you young lady out there, do not be carried away by these supposed standards that you see.
Yeah.
Do what's right by you, do what you want, and just focus on yourself, not
And
someone
if
else's.
what is right by
goals.
you is wrong, don't do it.
Anyways, what cannot be right or wrong by every other person, us all here, is the weather. Let's check it out.
Ah, and that's what she pointed at you. Don't leave me. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has refused to direct the Independent National Electoral Commission to resume the continuous voters registration exercise ahead of the 2023 general elections. The judge, Nyang Ekwo, said he could not make such an order with the 2023 general election just a few days to the statutory 90 days to the elections. The judge, however, declared that INEC, and I quote now, is expected to continue voters' registration, update, and revision of voters' register until 90 days before the general election. Part of the judge's statement reads, and I quote again, "It is the constitutional responsibility of the defendant, being INEC, to make sure that every prospective Nigerian voter who has shown desire to register to vote is not deprived their civil rights to register and participate in the forthcoming general elections." End of quote. Moving on, the All Progressives Congress North America chapter hosted members across the United States to discuss the need to have a reformed government and also pledge their support for the party's presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The chairman of the chapter, Olalekan Sani, said nobody can deny that Bola Tinubu is a true leader and fisher of men who has, through his leadership skills and political sagacity, assisted in transforming Lagos State to a 21st century economy, a feat he would readily replicate if given the opportunity to govern the country. He said the chapter has resolved not only to openly identify with the aspiration of Bola Tinubu, but to also mobilize massive support for his aspiration. The chapter secretary, Adeniyi Adekola, said that the main purpose of the event was to sensitize and mobilize diaspora support for the candidacy of the party and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima.
Those that can go home to vote will definitely go home to vote. And those that are not opportune to go home to vote, we actually reach out to their family back home. Encourage all of them to go out and vote. The best thing is for all our family back home to please troop out on election day, vote for the right person, and make sure you know.
Outside Nigeria, rescuers in the earthquake which occurred in Indonesia say many of those killed and injured in a major earthquake on the island of Java were children, as the death toll soars to 268. Officials say more than 1,000 people were wounded in the disaster. In its latest announcements, the National Disaster Mitigation Agency added that 151 people were still missing. It also said that 22,000 houses had been damaged and more than 58,000 people are taking shelter in several locations in the region. The 5.6 magnitude quake struck a mountainous region on Monday, causing landslides that buried entire villages near the West Java town of Cianjur. And that's it on the news updates for this hour. From this moment, we're heading to the kitchen where the suya spice spaghetti. Oh my gosh, the aroma. Okay, Winfrey, over to you.
Yeah. I just had to bounce you out of the kitchen for that one. So I'm still here with Chef Kenna. How you doing? How's it going?
Fine.
What's it looking like? Our suya spice spaghetti.
Yeah, it's ready basically.
It's actually ready. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what are we going in? We have some spring onions here. We need to add to that mix.
Yeah.
Okay, just drizzle. Why do we put spring onions last? I mean, the other vegetables are in already. We have the peppers and all of that. So why does that go last?
It cooks easily. So it's best when the pasta or whether you're using it to make rice, any other kind of food, it's best when you put it at the end of the food. At the
end of the meal.
It just cooks on its own and it gives you that aroma at the end of the meal.
All right, amazing. So our spring onions is in. Our serious spice spaghetti is ready to be served. But then again, in case you're just joining us, these are the ingredients we actually use to make this dish what it is right now. We had oil, salt, suya, garlic, carrots, onions, scallions, spaghetti, seasoning, bell peppers, tomato paste, cayenne pepper. And voila, you have it right here. Okay, so we give it a good stir.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we plate.
Yeah.
All right. We're good to go? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Is there any special way of plating pasta?
Yeah.
No, there's a one they do. Yeah, they twirl it. Are we going to twirl it today?
No, I don't have.
Aw, why now? We don't have the tool we need for twirling.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Nice. It actually looks really, really yummy. Definitely cannot wait to give that a taste. Ooh. Lovely. Lovely. Ah, it looks really tasty. Well done, Chef Kenna. You did a great job. Nice. Ready to
And also add
be served. Okay, so we're also adding.
You can also add if
Okay, you can also add if you
you're a
want,
huge
right?
fan of spring onions.
Oh, spring onions. Also known as scallions.
Scallions.
Just to give us more color.
Yeah.
Right? Amazing. Okay, so now that's it. Our dish is here, served and ready to be eating. But then again, we have so much more still to come right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Fertility and diets are quite the hot topic these days, and fertility-related foods can, also be a part of that craze. But can eating certain foods boost one's fertility? Doing justice to that in a bit is Omomi Fadairo. She's a registered nurse and a public health advocate who's on a mission to limit the rate of preventable deaths in Africa by at least 20% by 2030. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm good.
All right, you always come with this very lovely smile. Love it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let's get right to it. Foods that can boost fertility, do they really exist?
Yes, they actually exist because fertility itself, it's as a result of some hormonal, reaction, a lot of processes that go on in the body, and there are so many of this food that can actually enhance or inhibit these processes. For example, when you eat high protein diet, and then those high protein diets like beans, like lentil, these ones that are produced from plants, they tend to actually improve fertility because they promote ovulation, and then they also contain, some minerals like zinc, selenium, and all of these come together to boost fertility. But animal-based products, they have the tendency of inhibiting fertility. So for example now, we talk about red meat. Red meat is one of those food that can actually impact negatively fertility because there's a particular amino acid. Let me just quickly explain that. Yeah, so when you continue to eat red meat, this particular amino acid increases. Yeah, and it's as a way of inhibiting fertility. But when you want to neutralize that, you also use food, plant-based products that are very rich in vitamin B6, like walnuts, like peanuts, avocado. Avocado is actually highly fatty, and then it actually helps to neutralize the effect of those red meat.
Okay, now let's talk about, now that you have talked about plant-based proteins, let's break it down to what these plant-based proteins are. Are they easily accessible? How do we incorporate them into our diets?
Yeah, I mean, the commonest example we can find around us is beans. And yes, we can actually eat beans. It does not have cholesterol, it does not have fat, and it's rich in these vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
So apart from that, we also have peas around. Yes.
Green peas.
Green peas, yes.
Okay.
This can actually also help in boosting the fertility.
Okay. Now let's talk about foods that could also cause infertility, right?
Yeah.
Because as young women, there's certain, you talked about hormones and how certain, how our body responds to some kind of foods, especially when these hormones, at the time when these hormones are being released, it could inhibit infertility, right? So let us know if, this also exists as well.
Yeah, food that are actually high in carbohydrates can inhibit fertility.
Infertility.
Yes, they can inhibit fertility.
Okay.
So that way, for example now, where we're supposed to have, some, nutrients to fight against the diseases, sugar will not allow the body to, it will reduce the body immunity. And then instead of having, this rich flow of blood that we should have gotten from proteins and other vitamins, we're going to be having more of sugar that would, delay healing process and prolonged infection. Unresolved infections sometimes actually causes infertility. So for women, it's very important for them to reduce the rate of,
sugar intake.
yes, sugar intake, animal-based products on
you keep
healthy
saying
fats.
animal-based products. You really need to tell us what these animal-based products are so that when we see them, we know that, okay, this is what an animal-based product is. So, for example, you have your
People
meat,
talk
you have your milk.
Meat, talk about eating turkey, all of these frozen food like chicken. It's better to eat the plant-based products like
fish.
Yeah, fish is also an example that is very good. Salmon, for example, has healthy fat. You know, when we say fat,
so expensive.
Yeah. So it has healthy fat, and like in the class of avocado, olive oil, egg yolk, those ones are in the category of healthy fats that can help to boost fertility.
Okay.
Yes, but talking about red meat, turkey is still quite healthy actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, so red meat basically is just one of those products we should reduce if we are, trying to improve fertility.
All right.
Yeah.
No, you were also talking about some other things.
Yeah, dairy product. Yeah, high fatty dairy products can actually help us, like Greek cheese, yogurt.
Greek yogurt.
Yeah, Greek yogurt, cheese. Yeah, they're actually very good also in boosting our fertility. And for men too, men should actually avoid smoking. Yes, because, and not just about men now, some women stay around men that smoke
so
and they become secondary smokers. That's why they are exposed to this tobacco, and then hence they're actually reducing their chances of fertility.
Okay, so this foods that you have mentioned, that's the plant and animal based that you have actually mentioned, they also, it's not just about the women now, it's also
both
the
men and women.
Okay. Now, for the men, is there any extra anything that needs to be added to the nutrition? Okay, so you talked about not smoking. What else should they look out for when it comes to aiding fertility? Yeah,
before I go to those examples of food they should eat, they should also cut out drinking, alcoholism. Yes, that can actually inhibit fertility.
So they shouldn't drink at all?
Yes. Yeah, they should limit it if they can, and if possible, because altogether it's not just about fertility, also the general overall health. There's no point trying to do something that on the long run would chronic illnesses here and there. Yeah, so.
All right. Thank you so much, Omaome. This has been quite impactful. I never knew that there were actually foods that could aid fertility, but thanks for this insight.
Right.
And I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, and that's it on Nutrition segment. We have to go on a quick break now. Yes, we have a DIY coming up next. You don't want to miss this one. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, with every Wonder Woman Wednesday, we like to give some nice women tips. Now, maybe the guys can learn from this too. Just in case you see a lady doing the wrong thing, you might be able to gently advise her to do the right thing. Hey, it's time for DIY. We have the CEO of Ewa Hair here, and that's Oyi Honoride. It's great to have you back.
Thank you. Hi, Titi.
All right, so over the past few weeks, you've been giving us serious insight into how to maintain our wigs, what sort of wigs we should look out for in the market, even costs of wigs. If you missed that one, you should check it out on YouTube. But now, I've noted that there are just a lot of mistakes that some women make, especially with regards the gluing of wigs and unsticking them after they're done. So I don't really like to use the glue on my, because I like every day I just pull my wig off. I won't do it here, don't worry. But what is the correct way to remove a stuck down wig? That's the question for me today.
Okay. So I'm really excited about this topic. I've been looking forward to talk about this for quite some time to all my clients and my new clients. So basically, if you are a kind of person that you are, always wearing the lace glue very often, then you need to know the right way to uninstall your wig, your frontal wig or your lace wig or whichever it is.
We have a model with us today. I'm not sure whether it's a lace wig or a frontal wig she's wearing, but Victoria, what are you wearing today? Oh, welcome, Victoria. Take a seat, take a seat. What sort of work is this in front?
Okay, this is a frontal wig.
This is a frontal
wig.
Yes,
and we call it lace because, The base is lace, it's transparent.
Okay.
So, and this is frontal because it goes from here to the other side.
Okay, fantastic. This has been glued down.
Right.
So in the evening, she can't really remove this without doing certain things.
Right, right. Okay, so basically, our wig is being glued down, and, you know, we're going to talk about, like, the effective way to remove your frontal wigs. So now I just want to, you know, show you guys, I have the, you know, the right products for you guys.
Okay.
You know, because at the end of the day, for me, it's not all about, you know, the bottom line. It's also about making my clients and women all over the world, making them stay beautiful. So now we have this.
Can I stop you?
Okay.
Before you mention the type of product.
Right.
What shouldn't we do first? What is the wrong way to remove the wig?
Right. The wrong way is you just taking it off.
Or pulling it off.
Pulling it off.
Okay.
Without anything, because this is stocked. This is really stocked to a scalp.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention something. If you have a stylist and is styling your frontal wig, do not allow him or her to place the frontal on top of, exactly on your front line.
Oh, okay.
So you should, you know, if they are doing that, you let them know that they need to take it a bit forward.
Okay.
Let the frontal lie on your skin and not on your hair. So that way it makes it, you know, it makes it better to remove it.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So is this stuck the right way?
Yes,
This is stuck the right way.
It's stuck the right way.
So how do we uninstall this now?
Okay, so first of all, this is an oil-based product.
Okay.
You know, it's not, it doesn't have any kind of alcohol whatsoever in it, so it's very safe for the skin. It's organic.
Okay.
So, please let me take this off.
Oh, your glasses, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna place this, you know, and of course she had it done on her glue, which is, you know, less adhesive.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna spray this.
Okay.
You know.
So are we spraying a lot of this or just a little?
Just a little for starters, you know, just to see how it goes. And then if you need to apply more, you apply more. You make sure that the product is soaked. It's soaked inside the hair, and then it's safe to remove. So you guys can see it was really soaked. If you see the line of the glue, you can see the lines of the glue.
Oh, it's already coming off.
It's already coming off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that was quick.
Yes.
So you're spraying under it as it lifts?
Right.
Not exactly on top?
Not exactly on top.
Okay.
Not exactly on top. And this product is organic, it's safe. You know, it's not going to have any adverse effects on your wigs and also on your skin, you know, compared to the alcohol base that, you know, takes out moisture from your skin or your hair. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing this magical.
Right.
This magic must happen today.
It must.
Because I've been battling with the thought of having to remove a glued-on wig almost every day.
Right. So,
do women do this every day?
I think it's best for women to do it yourself, because if you take this to the salon, most hairstylists are always very in a hurry. So they won't, you know, take that time to actually remove it for you. Okay. And I've even seen a stylist even using a nail remover. They've used a nail remover to remove their frontals, and you know, that's like a no-no, because our kind of hair texture, you don't need to remove water or moisture from your hair. So now it's better to do it yourself.
Is it coming off?
Yes, it is.
Let me see. Okay, it's lifting?
Yes, it's lifting. Yes.
So on an average, how much time do I need to completely uninstall
basically, it also depends on the glue. So if you're using my kind of glue, my product, it should take you less than 15 minutes to get this done. But, you know, I can't really predict for, you know, there are so many brands out there, and we can't really predict.
Keep spraying. Keep spraying.
Right. So you can see it's lifting up gently, and it's not taking off any.
It's not taking off
our hair from our skin.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's not taking off our hair from our skin. It's not peeling our scalp. And then the alcohol, you know, has a way of, it's bad for the eyes. So if you spray alcohol on your a product that has too much alcohol on your face, it has a way of, you know.
So I need about 15 minutes to uninstall this properly. So if someone is trying to rush you or rush the uninstalling, you should really tell them not to.
No, not to. Yes, you don't want to damage your hair. Like, a lot of people come, you know, and then they say they have loss of hair, you know, alopecia here and there. Actually, it has to do with a lot of management, hair management. you know.
Okay, okay.
So
now I want to talk about, we've been talking about damage to the skin and the scalp and the hair, but what about damage to the actual wigs themselves?
Well, I mean, you won't have that kind of damage to your hair because you can as well use the alcohol-based, you know, on the units because it's not on a living scalp.
So basically, after you've removed the wig, then you go with your alcohol.
You go with your alcohol just to clean up, you know, from dirt and, you know, bacteria and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's fine. It's fine to do that on a unit that is not on a breathing, on a human being, because it won't have any...
Fabulous, fabulous. All right, so we did say it's going to take about 15 minutes. We're not going to rush through this, but we have a very beautiful, beautifully installed wig here, and we're going to take our time to see how we can take it off. But it is working. I'm seeing it lift, and you're seeing it lift at home as well, very gently. So, Victoria, are you feeling any pain?
No.
No discomfort at all? No. You're not uncomfortable? Because this is the part I'm always concerned about the customer.
Right.
Yeah. Feel good?
Yes.
All right. Great, great. Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've been able to remove
We're almost there.
half
Almost
of the hair.
removed almost half of it.
Right.
But you're definitely taking your time and you're lifting gently. Now, there's another issue I've noted, you know, that sometimes it just feels like it's too much work. Do you think the best idea is to glue your wigs, or do you think sometimes you don't actually have to glue your wigs?
Well, from a beauty standpoint, I would say if you want something very stylish, I think it would be nice to glue your wigs. I mean, why not? You know, to have that curves. I mean, it gives any hairstylist the opportunity to be able to do a lot with you when you glue your hair. You know, versus when it's glueless, you know. Either ways.
All right, all right. Okay, so at this point, we're going to be watching out to see how long it takes to unstick. It's almost gone. It's actually already done. Already done. Loving it, loving it, loving it. It's already unstuck. That's it for DIY for today. Thank you so much, Oyin Onoride from Ewa Hair and Beauty. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, then. So the ladies have been in the kitchen, standing by, because our chef has wrapped it up. Woo! It's all off. There you go.
That was quite an interesting tutorial.
It was, as a matter of fact. It was.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chef Kenna, you've prepared this delicious suya spice spaghetti.
Yeah.
And so, what do we do about this?
Yes, so Oyin will be joining us in a bit because, I mean, this is all for her.
Yes.
She has to come and, you know, taste it and let us know, you know, what she thinks about it. But
Yes, I know Titi is also going to join us.
Yeah.
Okay, so run us through the process again. How did you make this?
First of all, I had to boil my pasta.
Okay.
Then I had to start the stir fry. I added my garlic in the hot oil.
The suya's onions.
The suya, the onion, the vegetables, everything. Then the yagi was put.
Yaji.
Yaji was what you sprinkled on it. The yaji, yes.
Okay.
On the pasta, I added a bit of seasoning when the pasta was already
Thank you.
Okay. You know, I was actually frightened when you were making this. Welcome to the kitchen, Oyin.
It is time to reward you for all that hard work.
For a minute, I thought you wanted to spice it up with that.
Oh, goodness. I got it.
Okay.
All right, here's some suya spice pasta for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Enjoy.
He made breakfast.
Thank you, Chef. This looks very wonderful.
Just as you're as good as hair, he's good at food.
Wow.
You all have stuff that we're good at.
Yes, we do.
I love good food.
Some are good at food. Yeah.
Right.
Fashion.
It's definitely been a wonderful Wonder Women Wednesday.
Let us know what you think, Oyin.
It tastes great.
Oh, nice.
Thank you
It
so
does.
much
It
for
takes really great
coming.
class.
Well done, Chef Kenna.
Yeah, it's a wrap of a beautiful Wonder Woman Wednesday edition. We'll be here same time, same station tomorrow, so we'll keep it locked.
Alrighty.
Make sure you join us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.